my brother-in-law works for NASA, and so he's going to let me go and go through the whole facility and everything. I don't get to go into the alien room or whatever. But so that I can
he butts head with NASA.
So that we can once and for all debunk this flat Earth theory, but maybe we won't debunk it. I don't know, because this flat Earth thing became super popular here in the last 2 years, right? Where people are
really
extremely smart.
500 years ago, it was huge.
Well, yeah. people are like extremely smart, putting out all of this information to explain this flat Earth. So where do you stand on it?
Well, when I first heard about flat Earth, it was probably like a year and a half ago on Joe Rogan's podcast. We were talking about something, and then Joe was trying to explain how dumb people are, and goes, "Dude, there's people that still believe the Earth is flat and the sun is 3,000 miles away." And I remember this is like a year and a half ago. I'm a grown ass. I was in my 40s, balls deep in conspiracies my whole life. And when I heard that, I thought, oh, like. What are they, like, just super religious people? I mean, like, people actually still believe the Earth is flat. This is just me, like a year and a half ago. And then a few months later, I do the podcast again, and then Joe brings it up again. He goes, flat Earth theory. And I thought, and I said, and so he asked me, I think, what do you think of the flat Earth? And I thought, and I know I said this on his podcast, I go, it's got to be some CIA psyop, kind of like Scientology. It's got to be like Scientology, where they're just checking to see how stupid people are. Like, the Earth is flat. It's ridiculous. I'm like, I had an iPhone 4. I saw the picture of the Earth, that blue marble, on my goddamn iPhone, my smartphone. Every day, that was the default. I go, there's no way you're going to convince me. I mean, like, it had to be CIA psyop. And then that's it. And then a few months later, like maybe less than a year ago, talking about, I'm going off on conspiracy theories in my class, in my jiu-jitsu class, going off. I'm getting mad at people that don't believe this or that. I'm like getting freaking crazy. And then some guy goes, yeah, I agree with everything you said. Have you looked into flat Earth? I said, dude, please, flat Earth. That's got to be the most retarded thing I've ever heard.
You're like, no, that's too crazy for me.
It's got to be the most
Dinosaurs aren't real, but flat Earth.
I'm like, please, you're distracting from the real issues here that we have to deal with, the real issues. And he said, okay. And I told him, just please, zip it. And then a couple months later, another one of my students said, hey, man, you ever look into flat Earth? And I said, I looked over him, and I was like angry. And all of a sudden, I just wanted to debunk him. I go, that's the dumbest thing ever. And he said, hey, listen, man, I got a master's in engineering. Look into it. You do the math. You do the science. And I'm like, dude, I'm no scientist. But I could prove that the world is round in 1 minute. So we're texting each other back and forth. I'm like, dude, come on, man.
Well, what was it about the theory? What was it about the theory that just got you? Where you're like,
it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The Earth is flat.
Yeah.
And the sun is 3,000 miles away.
But did you debunk him, or did he?
No, I went home. I went home, and I go, I'm just going to find a picture. It's really simple. All these people that are
it's not really simple. Okay, it's not really simple.
Yeah, no, it's simple.
It's not.
I'm going to go, there's got to be tens of thousands of pictures of Earth from space. I don't need any science. I don't need an engineering degree. I don't need how to put numbers together and all this stuff. I'm going to show you pictures, many pictures, and I'm going to text them to you, show you pictures of Earth from space. So you go to Google and you'll pictures of Earth from space, and you look at them, and obviously, like right away, I thought, these are all CGI cartoons. There should be tens of thousands of real, actual pictures. So then I started looking into it, and then I thought, and these pictures are coming from the NASA website, nasa.gov. And I'm like, NASA is in charge of space information?
Doesn't have pictures?
And I already thought, okay, NASA faked multiple moon missions.
Let's get these photos pulled up, guys. Yeah.
Okay. He does too.
You believe we didn't?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
he thinks if you fly up over Earth, you're going to see ice walls surrounding a little petri dish that's growing us. It's a grow operation.
Well, So this is what happened.
Okay.
So then I look into it. I dig more and more. And then again, there's Eric Dubé again. I just watch his video. There's a video called, this best one is called The History of Flat Earth. And it takes you the timeline of how we decided the Earth was a ball and why we did a few hundred years ago. Eric Dubé breaks it down better than anybody. You listen to him talk about flat Earth, just for.
But so why don't we
30 minutes.
why don't we fall off the Earth at some point?
Well,
if our ship
you got
goes
to understand the flat Earth. I don't know. Listen.
or why
Listen,
if you're on the
really
flat
quick,
water and the ship disappears from view because it's going down?
Okay. I'm gonna explain that right
please.
now. But let me make it clear. There's no proof that the world is flat. It's just the people. Eric Dubé crushes the proof that the Earth is round. Goes, why aren't there any pictures of space? I used to have. I probably threw them away now. Unless they're in storage, but stacks and stacks of DVDs, space series, BBC, The Universe, Morgan. I would just take my natural medicines and watch over and over and every now and then, I'm watching these space documentaries. Me and Joe Rogan, just space documentary after space documentary, over and over, the same ones we'd watch. And every now and then I think to myself, it's weird that we're not watching any actual footage of space. It's all CGI. Oh, but that's okay. And then we just keep watching and then I think about that. It is kind of weird that how the hell do they know what this looks? How the hell do they know that star and that galaxy are 500,000 light years apart? And then I just watch it, and then I'm trying to remember everything, trying to be really smart. So when people start talking about space, I go, did you know the sun is 93 million miles away from the planet?
Well,
I'm just taking this information. So now, as soon as I find out that these fake pictures of Earth from space, like I don't know why it should be any, they're coming from NASA. And then you look into it, and they admit it. They go, yes, these are all composites, CGI. So NASA's not even saying they're real pictures. Why? And then... don't we have Hubble? Why don't you point it at the Earth and get some awesome shots of where we live? How come Hubble's not taking any pictures?
Well, if you follow the astronauts on Twitter that are up there in space, they're constantly tweeting out photos.
They do interviews from the ISS. This is, he thinks it's fake.
That's all.
The ISS. Okay, so the ISS isn't real. Actually, are you able to pull up any of those NASA photographs he's talking about?
Here's my issue.
It's all tax scams. They're just stealing money.
Here's my issue.
Well, there is a secret space program.
So with the flat Earth thing, really quick, let me just end it now. I'm not saying the Earth is flat. Okay, you got to understand that the flat. I got to answer a couple questions for you. First, why do ships seem to go over the horizon?
Right.
It's the law. It's the law of perception. Everything coming from your eyes converges into a vanishing point.
Yeah, but could that be the law of perception because we're on a globe?
No.
And if we were on a flat Earth, the laws would be different. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, let me finish.
Your perception doesn't matter if it's being recorded through a telescope.
No. You could go on YouTube right now. You could pull up on YouTube and look. You could see you take a camera without the zoom on and you videotape a ship going over there, and it looks like it's sinking. It's sinking. It looks like it must be going over the horizon. All you do is turn on the zoom, and the ship's right there again.
Well, eventually, though, it gets so far away.
Well, eventually, when the zoom doesn't work anymore. Explain that. I could prove that right now.
Okay,
it looks
you
like
can
the
explain
ship,
that with math, though.
It looks like no. But if you're saying the ship you're losing it because it's going over the curve, it doesn't matter what kind of zoom you have. You wouldn't be able to see it. That's science. So if you could zoom in and the whole ship appears again with the zoom, it didn't go over a curve. That's science.
But I'm
not even a scientist.
But you wouldn't be able to do that all the way to South America or something.
No, but who knows? You only know until the zoom runs out. If you have infinite zoom.
Okay, we have telescopes that can see into space. I'm going to need someone to point that telescope at a ship going over the horizon.
What I'm saying is, again, and this is why people thought the Earth was round. That's old physicists from 300 years ago. They were going, it must be round. We must be on a ball. So look.
So why didn't they ever fall off the? Why didn't they ever fall off the Earth?
Nobody believed that until people circumnavigated the planet. That's
right.
when they started to say, okay, wait, now we have to consider.
Why didn't you fall off?
This is the flat Earth model,
which is impossible.
It's like we're in a crater filled with water.
Here's the issue with this.
But then why don't you ever hit the edge? The ice wall.
South Pole. That's South Pole.
But
Anywhere
there is
you
no
go
South Pole. But
that's
there is no
South
South
Pole.
Pole.
It's the edge, the outer edge.
So
is the
there is no
Pole.
South Pole.
So the
South
middle
Pole
is the
doesn't
North
exist.
Pole. The middle is the North Pole, and the sun and the moon go around like that. The middle is the North Pole. So anywhere you go south, you hit the South Pole, and nobody.
But that's not the South Pole. It's just Antarctica, which is a sheet of ice that surrounds us.
An ice
Here's
wall.
the issue with this. Okay, now
That's it right there.
Wait. Okay, let me just.
just because
That's
that
how you go
your
around the
boy-
world. You asked about circumnavigation. You go
Except
around
that doesn't work because you would have to have your wheel turning right the
No,
whole time.
because
That's
you would
science.
just go in straight lines.
That's
There's
science.
no math.
You
There's
just
no
go
math.
straight.
You'd have to have your wheel turned right, though. I love it.
Hey, I'm
You
not
would have
saying
to
I
have-
believe it. I'm
Bro,
not saying
you would
that's.
have to have your
What
wheel
if
turned
you
right
had
the
it
whole
all?
time. You would have to have your wheel turned right the whole time if the Earth was flat to
That's
circumnavigate.
South Pole.
But that's not the South Pole.
The
There is
North
no
Pole is
South
the
Pole.
middle.
Here's the thing, man.
I am.
No, anyways, listen.
Your
listen.
boy,
I
your boy
smoke?
Dubé, your boy
Eric
Dubé.
Dubé, go watch his video. History of Flat Earth.
Look,
That's
your
all.
Dubé is debunked.
Your Dubé cover in your room is a nice guy. And you know what? Look, honestly, I don't know the guy's stuff. I'm sure it's great. I've looked into this
I don't know if
myself.
it's real.
And I'm honestly
I know
more
NASA.
advocate. But look,
NASA faked the moon landings, every one of them, and that's where all our information is coming from. All that shit should be under a microscope.
There's some
Not like,
truth to that.
Nah, it's real. Nah. Space
But
should be
just
under a
because
microscope.
your boy has done math to disprove what he thinks is the current belief of the globe or the measurements and everything. Okay, so maybe we've got the measurements
be wrong. He could be
so
wrong.
maybe that, like you said, maybe the Earth is bigger than we think. Maybe it's smaller. So
Exactly.
just because he disproves something in the common understanding of the globe and the math doesn't mean that it's not round. Doesn't
There's
mean that
different
it's
ways to
flat.
calculate
Think about
the
it like
same
this.
equation.
Think about it like this. Now, and I'm interested to see the flight patterns things that you were telling me about. I'd be interested to see that. But still, even let's say that all these flight patterns show how they all avoid the North Pole, they all avoid the South Pole magically. They're all just going around the world, around the equator, instead of going north and south.
Oh, so you looked into it a little bit.
I told you I looked into all this stuff, man.
Eric Dubé, though, he breaks it down
But
the
listen,
best.
but
But
listen,
also,
though.
it's also there's an
But listen,
electromagnetic
though.
field going
That
from the
would
north and
change
south that would
if
mess
the
with
Earth
the
was
flight
flat,
patterns.
Though, if the Earth was flat, all of the navigation systems that are used, all of the geolocation and all of that would not work. It would fail because all of those measurements are based on a sphere. So all the measurements and all the stuff they plug into the plane and all that stuff.
Apparently, it's all based on a flat plane. And it's not based
So then, okay,
So it's like a flat dome that goes like
every
this.
pilot ever is
don't know.
behind it too.
I
Then,
don't
so
know.
you got to get every pilot that's ever flown a
No,
plane.
they don't have to be behind it. They just follow. They're just following like the.
Okay, well, the only time I could ever just it was,
I don't know.
It
I
was
don't
when
know.
have you guys
they're looking
just-
at the
I don't know.
wheel.
Have you
and everything's
guys-
going right?
I've talked to pilots personally.
have you
I've talked
guys
to
seen the
pilots, too.
show?
Some of them don't think chemtrails exist.
Okay.
Others know it exists.
Have you guys seen Westworld?
Exactly.
Have you seen Westworld?
No.
Okay, so this in Westworld where they go to the simulation,
Westworld.
the Westworld device, and they're looking at it, and they're going, oh well, we need to change this over here, and so they're looking into this world. That is the only time I was ever saying, okay, I see we're the flat Earth people, because then we're living in a simulation, and we're basically, it's like this dome.
This is
Do
the
you
crazy-
recall the scene I'm talking about?
Yeah. This is the crazy thing is, everybody will entertain the possibilities of, man, what if we're scientists are saying that
We're in a
we're
simulation.
in a computer simulation. Everybody's like happy to look into that and the information, like, fuck, that'll be cool. We're a computer simulation. But when you bring up that maybe we've been lied to about what we're on, no, that's fucking, you're wasting my time. You're wasting my time. And like, oh, what are you going to go watch Game of Thrones now? You're going to watch some fiction and you're going to have an open mind and look into it. Everything that all the pictures and images from space are CGI. None of them are real. Isn't that a shitty detective would go, wait a minute. None of the pictures from space.
Okay, but you got to explain
We
that
do
to
have-
another level. Okay, but now hold on though.
Coming from NASA?
We do have some pretty amazing telescopes and photographic capability to be able
Show me real
to
pictures.
not have CGI Earth.
Show me real
I'll give you that.
No. He earns a
Did we
point there.
find any
NASA
real
admits
pictures?
this. NASA admits that their photos are pretty much all fake and everything. But at the same time, they do live feeds from the ISS that they never admit are fake. So there's semantics there. But again, man, you're talking about. I mean, this is beyond just, okay, a government that's run based on blackmail and pedophiles and all that. You're talking about now you've
Why
got
would they
people
lie
that
to us
raise
about the Earth
families like
thing?
pilots, people and engineers that are designing these telescopes. What about all these satellites they're claiming that are going up to space? Where are the waves going from your cell phone?
Listen, when someone brought up flat Earth theory to me, like I told you, I wouldn't even ask those questions. I was just like, dude, you're retarded. So the fact that you got some legit questions that need answers, that's why you need to watch History of Flat
Okay,
Earth
so
by
so
Eric
you so
Dubay.
you so you think that everything? Okay, so everything
I
that
can't
comes.
explain it.
How about this? How
I
about
can't
this?
explain it.
But so
all I know is I don't trust
Try to
NASA.
explain-
Wait, so
I don't know if the
wait,
Earth
here-
is flat. I don't know if it's
Okay,
round or flat.
you don't know.
I don't know what we're on, but I'm looking into it.
So
So if
wait,
you're
why
outside-
don't you offer to be one of Tesla's first people that he says he wants to fly civilians into space?
Remember,
Why don't you
I'll
remember
go
go?
the
with
guy
you.
from who was
Why
the
don't you
guy?
go?
I'll
who's
go
the
with
guy
you.
that owns Virgin America.
Richard Branson.
Yes,
That
Branson.
guy, he was talking about it 20 years ago that he's going to space flight, and now Elon Musk is talking about it. Let me tell you this right now. I'm going to make a prediction. That is never going to happen. That is never going to happen. No one's going to. Elon Musk, dude from Virgin America, couldn't take nobody. He owns. What happened to that? That just faded away.
Yeah,
what they
Lady
said? They
Gaga
said-
offered to be the first
He
one.
looked into it, tried to. Where do I apply for this? And they said, you better sit your ass down because you ain't going into space. Nobody can go into space. Nobody's going into space.
You,
So all
so
the
you don't think
images-
the astronauts have ever been in
All
space?
of the images coming from space.
You think
are
no
not real.
astronauts have?
CGI.
So what are we looking at then? What do I in my telescope? What am I looking at when I look at stars and
I don't know,
cosmos
weird lights.
and stuff?
Weird. When you even look at planets, they're look like a light. It's a light.
Okay, again, my brother-in-law works for NASA. He works
Not
in
a
like
star.
the jet fuel area.
I don't know what it is, man. There's whatever the sun is. I don't.
Flat Earth.
That's
That's
fake.
fake. That's all fake. This is live, isn't
That's
it?
fake.
This is a live feed, isn't it?
It's a live feed.
Yeah, this is a legend.
That's what they tell you. That's what they tell you.
It's moving. See
I don't believe shit coming from them. They're a bunch. They fake moon landings.
so what are those
They faked it.
satellites?
So you're going to believe that?
What are the satellites up in the sky then? Are they fake
No
too?
one's.
All of them?
There's no pictures of any satellites in the sky.
But you can see it with your eyes.
Yeah, there are. You can see a
You
satellite.
can
Look through a
see it with
telescope.
your own eyes.
Okay, show me a video of a satellite in the sky.
Have you ever been to like?
guys, pull that
Have
video
you
back.
ever been
There
to
you
Portland
go.
or
One,
like
there's two.
Montana?
Fake. Like,
All
how do
right,
you
so
know
that's what I'm saying.
real?
So it's just all
No.
fake then.
No,
No. Have you ever been even Northern California where there's not a lot of light noise? Somewhere like Portland, Montana, somewhere where you can actually see the stars. West Texas, you can see the satellites with your naked eye. They're not UFOs.
Okay, satellites are supposed to be the size of a bus.
You can see them.
Okay, look. Satellites are supposed to be the size of a bus. A 747 is the size of 5 buses, and when they're 30,000 feet in the air, you can barely see them as a speck. You think you're going to see a bus that's 100,000 feet or a couple miles in the air?
Yeah.
A couple miles?
You can see
Yeah.
the light.
Wait a minute. You're going to see
What?
They have a lamp on
So you
them?
think they're UFOs?
Listen. Real quick. Let me repeat myself. Okay. A satellite is the size of a bus.
Not all satellites
I can't
have a
believe-
universal
So then
size.
what
and shape.
do-
No, but
What do
that's
we
the
see?
average size. It's
Okay.
like they're like a bus.
Okay,
A
the
satellite's a
International
bus.
Space
Yeah, okay,
Station
let's
is
just
huge.
say let's say that satellites are the size of a 747. Okay, 747s fly at an average altitude of 30,000 feet. They're like a speck at 30,000 feet. How high do you think satellites are supposed to be? And you're telling me you see them with the naked eye? That's not science.
So then what is it? So then what?
So you're telling me that the satellites have like this beaming light? What do they
No,
need?
they're not a beaming light.
Satellites have a beaming light
No,
that you
they
can
don't.
see from the ground?
They don't even have a light. You
Yeah.
can see them.
What's light?
I'm
Why do
just-
they
I
need
see it,
all
so
that
what am I
energy?
seeing?
So what are we
That's
seeing?
what I'm saying. So what is it?
what
I
are they
see
then?
it. What is it?
Okay, again. A plane is at 30,000
No,
feet.
no, 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 no,
and
no,
you
no,
can
no, no,
barely
no, no, no.
see it.
How about this?
And
No.
a satellite is at
No.
a couple hundred
You know
thousand
what?
feet.
Listen.
And you're telling me you could see it because
Yes.
it has a beam of light coming out of it?
That's how you can
Why
tell the
would
difference
they waste
between a-
energy on
Now
having
listen,
a beam of light?
if you
on a
ask
satellite?
It doesn't
Anybody-
have a beam of light. I don't.
What's
You
illuminating?
don't even need the light.
No, you
need
do
the
need
light?
the light because
can
listen,
see it.
What do
that's
you
how
need the
you tell
light
the
for?
difference. That's how you tell
Then
the
what
difference
is it,
between
Eddie
a star
Bravo?
and
What
a
is the
satellite.
meaning of
Yeah,
the light on the satellite?
My
Because
brain
that's how you
hurts.
tell the difference
They're gonna
between a
waste
star
My
and a
all
brain,
that
it
satellite.
hurts.
They're going to have all that energy, and they're going to have a beam
Then
of
what
light
is it?
coming out of a satellite.
Eddie Bravo, millions of people out there who have seen satellites with their naked eye want to know
Maybe
then
even built
what
them.
is it?
Sent him up.
How can you see a bus 200,000 feet in the air.
All right.
I don't know how.
Hold on.
They're not that far out of the Earth's atmosphere.
You can't see
They're.
a plane.
We're
at
not going
30,000
anywhere. This is a dead end. Let me bring
I
this
can't
up.
believe
I
you've
can tell
never
you this.
seen a satellite.
I have seen this.
Mr.
I have
I
actually,
look at the sky
I've
all the
actually
time.
seen this with
I've
my
never
bare
seen it.
eyes,
I
Eddie.
look at the sky.
You have
Hold
to
on.
go.
Listen to
you
this.
have to go where there isn't light noise.
Listen to
you
this.
have
There's
to
a
go.
satellite.
You have to go
Apparently
where
going
there's.
through the sky. Yeah, and they
you have
orbit
to go
too.
where
That's the
there's
other thing.
no-
You can see
Yeah, they
they're all
orbit.
lined up. They're in a perfect line.
They go in a
around the
straight
planet.
line.
That's how these cell phone satellites work.
How is that?
Because it just moves like this, slow and steady and straight.
And you can see how they're all lined up perfectly in a sphere. That that's how they work.
All
But
right.
we're not going
You
anywhere.
may be right.
So let me say this. So let me go to this.
I may be wrong.
Maybe.
But who knows? That could just be them in a circle around the flat Earth.
I
So guess
challenge
that
you to
could
look into the
know.
sky next time you're
But
somewhere
how
where
do you
there's
explain
no
this?
light
I'm
noise.
just curious if there's any explanation in the flat Earth theory for space debris coming into our atmosphere. That is something I've seen asteroid fields with my bare eyes. I've seen asteroids enter our atmosphere. The rock, you can see it break up and basically explode in the atmosphere. I've seen this with my bare eyes multiple times. What is that then?
That's Zeus throwing a rock into the flat Earth.
I'm not saying the Earth is flat. I'm just asking questions. And NASA is not to be trusted. So anything coming from them, I'm going to investigate.
You and I,
think
listen,
it's smarter
you and I.
Okay, wait.
We're going to circumnavigate the world starting from the South Pole, and we're going to go all the way around the North Pole, and we're going to end up back on the
I
South
think
Pole.
you need to
brother.
make a-
Then what would
there's
you
a
say?
UN treaty
Let's go
that
together.
You can't go,
And then we're going to blast off
We are
and look for
going to
the ice wall.
circumnavigate the Earth and debunk this or prove it once and for all. I think that's an excellent idea. But here's the thing.
You know what? You know what you can do? This is what you can do. This is how you prove the world is round. Get on a plane, find some billionaire guy, and fly over the Antarctica. Fly over it and go around and fly over it. When you can do that, then I'll believe it.
And if
Okay.
somebody's,
But I need
which
proof.
is, it's been done, but
There are people out there right now who have
you're
the
not allowed to fly
capability
over
to take us.
so then all the satellite images are fake
Of what?
of Antarctica.
Is it CGI?
No, I'm asking. Well, I'm asking you. Is it fake?
CGI? If it's CGI, is CGI real or not real?
CGI is fake. So you're saying that
what's
they're
the
all
question?
fake.
What's the question?
So Antarctica
All the
isn't.
images of Antarctica and the theories now that the center of it is melting. They actually think there's like a spaceship under it now. They're not even
Where'd
sure
you
if
get
it's a
that
piece
from?
of land.
Government scientists?
Huh?
Government scientists?
Whoa, I thought we were questioning everything here, Eddie.
I don't know. All I'm saying is that information.
I was showing you. Remember the other day? I was showing you. I was
Yes.
looking at Antarctica. I found what looked like a spaceship buried in the ice.
That's fake pictures of Antarctica.
So
that
these
could
must
be
be
anything.
fake.
Like what? No, but Antarctica
it could be
huge.
anything.
Yeah,
What does that even mean?
You could.
Anything could be anything.
Just because you go on the outer edges of Antarctica. I mean,
Okay.
No, I
Does that
understand.
mean that you
I
can
understand.
fly
That
over-
doesn't
fly over
disprove.
it?
That doesn't disprove your flat Earth theory.
And
But
this
if there
is-
was an ice wall, wouldn't we see it?
I think even
You
if
do
we
see it.
had
Watch.
8 more hours, we
Bring
would
up
not.
ice, Antarctica ice wall.
Bring that up, please, and we will
Non-CGI. Can we get one that's
Just like-
non-CGI?
Just like Game of
if it's
Thrones, you're
possible?
gonna love it.
Make sure
How come
it's
the ice
the
wall's okay in Game of
non-CGI?
Thrones, but in real life it's not okay.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
You could pull up ice wall.
I feel like we could talk about this for 8 more hours and still be going round and around the flat Earth.
Just like the sun goes round and round,
So
but
I'm gonna-
somehow you don't see it from the other side of the
We're going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I just want to put out, one last call to
That's
anyone who wants to take us on a trip to circumnavigate the Earth and debunk and find this ice
Fly
wall.
over Antarctica.
Or if someone would
You'll
like to
go
take
with
us
me.
on a flight
I'll go with you.
to
And
fly
will you
over
go with me
Antarctica.
on a rocket ship? Straight up.
No, on a plane. Look, there's the ice wall. Look,
That's a glacier.
the ice wall.
That doesn't. Oh my God! So okay,
Get
so
another
then you
picture,
could
another
easily just
picture.
walk right
Another
over it then. So you're telling me on the other side of that looks like maybe 60 stories of ice that I'm going to see another petri dish of a human growth organization going.
God, that'd be amazing,
Look at
wouldn't
ice
it?
wall. Look
There
at
it is, flat Earth.
Come
Eddie
on,
Bravo's. Eddie Bravo's
Don't-
right.
Now look, honestly.
What
like,
is that? What is that?
What do you mean? What
see?
is that? It's a bunch of
How come
ice
that's fake
floating
now?
on the ocean.
When I say pictures are fake,
It's
I never
not
said it's
fake.
fake.
find another one. A long shot though. That's just one. Can you find one? There's a long.
Yes,
angle where you can
find
see
the one of that being
couple
10
miles.
million feet long, please. That's
Yeah.
the angle that we
Yes,
need.
Totally.
I would say that whoever does take us on a flight or a ship to circumnavigate, this is what you're going to have to be listening to for the entirety of it. But
You're like,
please,
look at that ice wall. Look at that ice wall. That's not an ice wall.
let's
That's
make this
that's a
happen.
glacier.
This would be the biggest video
There it
ever.
is. Look. What is that?
Well, you can see the edge of it, bro. What are you talking about? You can see the edge of that.
Edge of
Yeah.
what?
The edge of the glacier,
water
the
goes-
frozen piece of
Maybe
ice.
it's going that way.
Oh my gosh!
It is going that way. It
I
looks like
think-
it's a right angle.
You said, "Where's the ice wall?" We show you 3 pictures of the ice wall.
It's not an ice wall.
That's like I'm showing you
That
Tower
is an
7.
ice plateau.
I'm showing you videos, different angles of Tower 7 collapsing, and you're going, "Those fires! That's fires!" Nis said it.
Office fires.
Nis said it's fires. I believe it's fires. Nis said it's fires.
So then are those photos of the ice wall are real then?
They're CGI.
Are they real or not? What do you think?
CGI.
If they're real, then why didn't they just pop their head over that and look on the other side?
Why haven't you taken a trip to Antarctica or Alaska or anywhere yet?
So now you're talking about an infinite plane.
Yeah.
So now
It could be anything. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Okay, this is science.
I don't know. I don't know.
I want to see the petri dish that is growing the other human grow.
I want to see more fake pictures of space.
I could draw you one.
I just
love
don't
that
even know. I guess we should end it there. We didn't really come to any conclusions, but I think we can conclude that it is very important for everyone out there to ask questions and be able to debate their friends about things that, frankly, none of us
believe whatever you want. I'm just really curious.
Just don't believe the government, right? Can we agree on that? Most of the time, probably don't believe the
Exactly.
government.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
We will.
Any information coming from the government, you gotta be suspicious of it, and you gotta break it down and reinvestigate, reopen the files. That's a smart thing to do when
Yes.
you're dealing with criminals. Saying, "Oh no, they wouldn't do that." Criminals, a criminal, no detective would go, "He wouldn't do that."
You should
But he's a criminal.
absolutely-
Nah, he wouldn't do. Why would he do that? Nah, he wouldn't do that. The worst detective in the world wouldn't even think like that.
Right, which is why, we should
government's
definitely
on top.
tolerate. We should definitely tolerate conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think we can all agree to disagree. So thanks for watching.
Hey, you know what? I have a feeling if when I come back, you guys are going to be flat earthers. I bet.
When are you coming back? He's going to wait until he sees me tweet on Twitter. Okay, maybe the Earth is flat.
But the one thing is,
no, we're going on the
you guys
ship.
are way open.
We're going on an expedition.
More open-minded.
It is my dream.
I would shut people up.
It is my dream to be Magellan and circumnavigate the Earth.
My mission over here.
Well, but here's the thing with me is I've
guys
been
are
there.
way better than
I've
me.
been there
You
before,
can teach
so
me
I am
jujitsu
open-minded.
on the ship.
You know why flat Earth is so big? Because everyone has the same story. No one ever goes, "Yeah, the Earth is flat. Oh, cool, I believe that." Everyone says, "Shut the fuck up." Everybody,
Please.
anytime you want, there's a new conspiracy theory host. They have the same story that I just told. Everyone has the same story. When I first heard about flat Earth, I thought it was the dumbest shit ever. I thought it was a CIA psyop. It must be some kind of distraction.
Clearly it is
Everybody
a
has
psyop.
the exact same story. Everybody. No one just believes it right away. I was way worse than you guys.
Well, it gets people fighting about stuff that no one can really prove rather than focusing in on what's actually going on our planet.
It's
with the
easier to
actual
believe-
chemtrails and the frequency control.
Exactly.
So there you go.